Welcome to today's episode of Hankie Pankie. Today we're going to show you the differences between crocheted and tatting. There's a lot of different varieties. I'm just going to start today's episode and showing you some of these different kinds and colors and varieties of crocheted and tatted edging. Some of these do have embroidered corners, different colored linens. Some of the edges are very wide variety. Some of them have detailed corners. Some of them have the ever popular, there's a butterfly edge or a doll crocheted into the corner. A lot of different variety here. I have a very pretty display that a friend of mine just gave me two what are known as a napkin doll. These are handmade ceramic varieties. I don't choose to use napkins. I think that the hankies look very, very beautiful. But in this setup, I did use a crocheted and tatted varieties in the doll's dress. We'll talk about decorating with hankies in a future episode, but for today's display, I decided to show you just a little bit about the different varieties, and we'll get back to that in just one moment. Okay, now we're back and we're going to show you a little bit of the differences between a crocheted edge, that's a little bit of a design on a crochet edge, and a tatted edge of a hanky. Crocheted and tatted laces, because basically what they are is they're handmade laces, use the same size threads, and it makes them look very, very similar. But they have lots of different designs. Some look very different from each other. In tatting, there's rarely any straight lines. Everything is made up of curves and loops. That's what makes people really love tatting so much. My grandmother tatted when she was a young woman. I still have some of her hankies. People love tatting because it's very delicate, very frilly. Crochet cannot duplicate tatting exactly, but it can look very, very similar. In fact, when I first started looking at hankies and becoming interested in them, I would get very easily confused over what was tatted and what was crocheted. What I used to think some of my grandmother's tatting was not actually tatting, it was crochet work. But tatting uses a little shuttle. There are a lot of very different variations of these. These have the thread that is on sort of a bobbin on the inside. There's a tiny hook, if you can see that. That's how the lace is pulled. It enables you to do some very fine lace work. It's a skill that I wish I had, but I'm not very good at this kind of small craft work. There are a lot of different kinds of patterns, as I showed you there. There's one with a very pretty embroidered pansy on the edge. There are very popular designs. There's one with a butterfly. You're going to see a lot of varieties of that. There's a couple I have in red. That's on red linen. Look at that one on white, another red one. Sometimes the crochet is done on the lace edge. Those are very popular for a wedding. There are quite a bit of varieties of different colors. There's another crochet with a rainbow thread. Here are some varieties that are tatted. That's a very wide tat on an embroidered hanky. There's another one that is on an embroidered hanky. A lot of them come on different kinds of, most of them are on linen. You'll see a lot on linen. There's some colored linen. Look at that. That is a black crochet, very, very thin crochet on a yellow hanky. But as you can see, there are quite a bit of varieties. This one is one of my favorite ones. I love violets with a very, very detailed edge. I hope you learned a little bit today about crocheted and tatted edges. There are a lot of different varieties and a lot of beauty in these. It takes a lot of handwork. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you again next time. Thank you for joining us today at Hankie Pankie Vintage Linens. If you have any questions about what we've talked about today, please don't hesitate to leave them in the comments below. If you've seen any hankies or linens that you like in today's video, they may still be available. Please visit my eBay store. A link to that and my contact information is in the video description.